Hey guys, it's Friday. Every now and then I get somebody who says, Extreme Life Reviewer, you seem to know a lot about a lot of things. Should I buy a new car? So today's tip is gonna be, do not ever buy a brand new car. I don't care if you're balling. I don't care if you hit the lottery. I don't care if your mama or daddy say, here's your Christmas gift. Why? Because of something called depreciation, spelled depreciation. What do you got? Makes you lose your money faster than freaking water on a spigot. Listen, I've been there. We all dream big, right? And out of the blue, we get that big sale. You made 40 grand, 50 grand, and you want to say, bingo! Brand new car time. Now, in the old days, and I mean a couple years ago, there were no Teslas out there that you could buy on the resale market. But now it's all over the freaking place. I actually Ubered a guy who I took to the mechanic who was doing some junk. And he told me that he had just bought a resale Tesla. And it was the car that he always wanted. He got the new $100,000 one with the double engines or whatever. But he got it on resale. And he said he saved a lot of money. He bought it from I can't talk today. What the heck? He bought it from a guy who was gonna move up and buy a newer one. And he first was like, maybe I'll just take out a bigger loan and get a new one myself. And then he says, nah, I'll just save the money. Now, that was the smart guy, right? Now he's driving a Tesla, kicks butt, and he saves some cash. Now show me the numbers, Extreme Life Reviewer. You sign the paperwork, you pay the big money, you're proud of a new car, you walk out the dealership, and what happens? Your first year, you lose 20 to 30% on depreciation. Let's work out those numbers, okay? Let's say you bought a $40,000 car. 40 times 10% is 4 G's, times 20% is 8 G's, times 30% is 12 freaking G's. Now imagine that you were balling and something good happened, and instead of you taking a loan for those $40,000, because we're not going to account for the interest here, and this is not a conversation about cash versus loans. Imagine if you had the 40 grand cash and you called the place and they said, out the door, we'll give you this brand new car for $40,000. And then you look the day before and you see that there's one that came off a lease, either a 2 or 3 year old car, still the same, looks good. You know, the Mercedes, BMWs, all those cars don't change that much. And they still got 30,000 miles, 27,000 miles, so they're under factory warranty forever. And forever, I mean till 50,000. I mean, come on. So then you look at that and you go, oh my gosh, this one is 3 years old with 37,000 miles or 27,000 miles. And instead of being 40 out the door, is actually what? Ooh, that's a good one, right? Because if on your first year you lose 20 to 30%, on your second year you lose another 20 and then another 20. So now you're making big bank. Now, why should I tell you, or why should you say, I'll save the money? Here's why. The stock market is going crazy. So if you can get a car for $25,000 instead of paying $40,000, and you have the money cash, now you take that $15,000 and you can put it somewhere that will go crazy for you. Okay? So there's many thoughts of what you can do with that money, but the bottom line is that you drive the car a few years, then you trade it in. You trade it in for your next car that is not new. You save money again, and you continue. Clark Howard says you keep a car for 10 years in order to squeeze the most out of it. But guess what? Many of you guys are ballers out there, and there's no need to be driving an older car. Now me, myself, I keep them for a while. Do I want to go ahead and buy one every year? Boom, 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 boom. Of course. But once you realize that no matter how new that car you just bought yesterday feels, when you're looking down the street on your way to 7-Eleven and you see another newer car, you go, damn, I want that one. So no matter how new or older of a car you got, as long as you like it, that's what matters, because as soon as you take a peek someplace else, bam, there's another one you want. And then you get that one and another one. I remember somebody who said, I got this fancy Ferrari years ago, and I had to stop thinking about it because the second I saw a Ferrari that was 1 year newer, I wanted that one. And then I wanted the other one. So basically, you can never be satisfied, like that song says. So just buy what you like and chill. Hey, and guess what? Unless it's a weekend car that you're keeping on the weekends and only using on the weekends, and you're not driving out there when it's raining or when it's snowing or out to the beach to get salt or all that stuff, it still has a chance of some blankety blank person scratching it with their car, being jelly and scratching it with the key, or somebody backing into it like what happened to me. All right? So if you follow that beautiful show from HBO called Ballers, there's one thing that the financial guys were telling the football players. And that was, if it drives, if it flies, if it floats, you lease it. You don't spend your money on it. Why? Because when you spend that $200,000 for your Ferrari, boom, depreciation takes over and now you're losing bank. But if you lease it, you know, these fancy cars, you don't use them that much anyway. So you turn them back in, you didn't go over your mileage, and guess what? You enjoyed it for 3 years and now you can get a new one. Anyway, I digress. The purpose of this is to tell you, no, the answer is no. You never buy a new one. Even if you're balling, you don't buy a new one. Now, yes, if you're balling, you might want to say, I'm getting a brand new car, but you got to think this out. As you get older, take that cash difference and putting in another thing that will generate more money is fine. I get one of these dividend stocks. You just buy those stocks and let it rot there. And then they pay you several times a year. Some once a year, others twice a year. It's called dividends. Anyway, I hope I answered your question. That's a nice money tip to save you money. There's plenty of places, there's plenty of people that can sell you a good used car. I prefer not to deal with dealerships because of the hassle, so I buy direct from owners. Served me well. Make sure you get the car inspected. But that is my tip for you today. Don't spend $40, spend $25. take the other 15 and put it somewhere that's gonna do you good in 5 years. Whether it's Bitcoin, Tesla stock, Apple, or basic Coca-Cola, which keeps increasing their dividends, I heard, over the last 60 years. Every year, they keep paying you more and more. Buffett likes Coke. He owns a lot of that. So why not you? Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up. If you have any other questions, shoot them out to me. But guess what? You won't be able to because comments are off. If you don't know me to ask me directly, you ain't gonna get to me. I'm out. Take it easy. Until the next video.
Yeah.